It's finally happening. Gun counters are packed again. And over on cable news, they're practically losing their minds. Shelves that sat untouched last year are now picked bare, and no one in Washington who's made a career out of hating the Second Amendment seems to have a clue why. So what's really going on? Is this just another panic wave like we've seen before, or is there something deeper pulling Americans back to the gun counter? Could it be that Trump's 2025 agenda is exactly what Second Amendment supporters have been waiting for? In this video, we're breaking down what's truly fueling the latest surge in gun sales, why Trump's proposed policies are pushing millions to the checkout line, and why the same pundits crying chaos are quietly terrified that they're witnessing a cultural shift they can't undo. The first wave of buyers, they didn't hesitate. They hit the stores the moment the election dust settled. Gun shop owners I talked to from Phoenix to Pittsburgh all said the same thing: steady weekday traffic, followed by sharp weekend spikes anytime a tariff rumor or ATF shakeup blows up on social media. But make no mistake, this isn't panic buying, this is strategic stocking. Most folks aren't grabbing whatever's left. They're being smart, picking up reliable carry pistols, cases of 9mm, and spare parts kits before prices edge any higher. And the online side? It's booming. Retailers are reporting personal one-day sales records on trigger groups, optics, and even basic Glock pins. According to first quarter data from AMO-Seek, published in March 2025, online searches for 9mm, 5.56, and 22 long rifle jumped over 30%. Meanwhile, NSSF logged a 13% increase in background checks for gun sales, beating Q2 of 2024. And we're barely into spring. If you're watching this and seeing back orders stacking up at your favorite online shop, let us know down in the comments. Are your local shelves thinning out too, or is your area still holding strong? Drop a comment below and tell us what's selling fastest in your zip code. So now the real question: what's really driving this boom? Let's break it down. Let's start with the biggest policy quake shaking up the gun world. Trump's proposal to move the ATF under the Department of the Treasury isn't just some beltway reshuffle. It's a direct shot at unchecked regulatory power. This move forces the agency to operate under stricter oversight, where lawmakers and budget committees can monitor every step. That change alone chokes off the oxygen, feeding the kind of unpredictable rulemaking that's burned gun owners for years. We're talking about the same chaos that gave us the pistol brace flip-flop, the solvent trap confusion, and the frame or receiver debacle that turned law-abiding hobbyists into question marks overnight. Now, gun owners are finally seeing light at the end of the tunnel. The endless guessing game over what might become illegal next that could be over. And that shift in mindset? It's massive. Folks aren't just buying out of fear anymore, they're buying with confidence. They're picking better gear, going for top-shelf red dots instead of settling for iron sights, choosing American-made bolt guns over cheap overseas junk, snagging an extra AR lower not because they're worried it'll get banned, but because they finally can. And here's another big one: Trump's executive order directing the Justice Department to review and eliminate any firearm regulations that don't line up with an originalist reading of the Second Amendment. Mainstream outlets like CNN and anti-gun lobbies like the Giffords Law Center called it reckless. But on the ground, the results were quick and clear. Silencer wait times dropped by weeks. Pistol brace owners who'd been stuck in legal limbo are back at their workbench swapping parts, upgrading builds, and moving forward without fear. Because when regulatory frost melts, the marketplace thaws, and it happens fast. Look no further than the comeback of platforms like the Franklin Armory RS7. That's no accident. Trump's 2025 rollback of federal overreach is clearing the path for firearms that were buried under red tape. The RS7, a short-barreled AR-style rifle, avoids NFA restrictions thanks to its straight-cut rifled barrel. Back in 2019, the ATF tried to kill it, labeling it a short-barreled shotgun. Franklin Armory fought back, and they won. Now, with the ATF under the microscope, guns like the RS7 are moving fast. No tax stamp, no waiting period, no reclassification games. Just a rifle on the shelf, ready to go. For around $1,999, you're getting a serious home defense tool chambered in 5.56 or 300 blackout featuring a 7.5-inch barrel, optional binary trigger, and all the close quarters maneuverability of an SBR without the federal leash. Gun owners who've sat on the sidelines for years are now back at the counter asking for the RS7 by name. They're not just cheering the headlines, they're buying. Then there's concealed carry reciprocity, a sleeper issue that's quietly turning into a sales rocket. Anti-gun think tanks like Everytown and Brady warn it'll lead to dangerous tourists packing heat in Times Square. But for everyday Americans, it just feels like overdue fairness. A driver's license works in all 50 states. Why shouldn't a concealed carry permit? Gun owners in the restrictive Northeast corridors are jumping early. They're hunting down micro-compacts, booking training slots, and ordering Kydex rigs before demand explodes. Manufacturers of subcompact 9mm pistols, Smith & Wesson, Springfield Armory, SIG. Sawworthy are running double shifts. Holster makers, they can't cut leather fast enough. And ammo sales? Through the roof. From Federal HST to Speer Gold Dot, counters across the country are putting up one box per customer signs again. Here's the kicker: national reciprocity hasn't even passed yet. But just the possibility of it is already driving a buying wave that critics and pundits never saw coming. While the carry debate hogs the headlines, another underreported factor is quietly fueling this surge. Trump's team is floating a proposal to restore gun rights to nonviolent felons who've proven they've turned their lives around. Gun control groups are yelling that criminals will be armed, but the proposal is tightly focused on folks who were convicted of things like check fraud or paperwork violations 15 years ago. These are taxpayers, parents, veterans, and working men and women who've paid their dues, yet still can't legally protect their own homes. And now we're seeing a run on pump shotguns, 4-inch revolvers, and budget-friendly home defense carbines. These ain't movie props or headline grabber-steer working-class tools for Americans who finally feel like the Constitution includes them again. Even homebuilding is making a big comeback. Biden's ghost gun rule is hanging on by a legal thread. But Trump's legal team is already drafting new guidance to restore the old standard unfinished receivers, treated as just chunks of polymer or metal until someone actually machines them. That one prospect alone has lit a fire under the DIY crowd. Sales of 80% lowers, jigs, and drill presses have all spiked since February. And that's before any official announcement has even been made. So, is this just another temporary sales spike, or are we witnessing a lasting shift in American gun culture? One thing's for sure, Trump's 2025 vision is already moving markets, restoring confidence and bringing millions of silent gun owners off the sidelines and back into the conversation. What we're seeing out there, this ain't panic, it's purpose. Let us know what's going on in your neck of the woods, what's flying off the shelves. Where you live? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more no fluff, deep dive coverage right here on the Beam Firearms. Stay sharp, stay ready, and as always, keep your powder dry.